Good afternoon. Welcome to Radio Palacio. I'm speaking with Ryan Webster, one of the Cal State Long Beach students who worked on the Long Beach Vote 2016 project. Good afternoon, Ryan.
Hey, how are you doing, Antonio?
All right. Ryan, you wrote the introduction to the report as well as you were at some of the events where we surveyed voters. Can you share some of your observations and discussions with people about how they felt about voting and the voting process?
Yeah. One of the things I noticed is I was always under the assumption that a lot of people were just apathetic about voting. It really didn't interest them. They didn't really put too much concern into the political process. But after talking to a lot of people and individuals that didn't vote, a lot of people do care about voting and want to participate, but simply don't, just because of structural issues or other things. I mean, it could be things like work or babysitting, daycare. And I think that's probably the biggest impediment for why people don't vote. It's not that people are lazy and they simply don't care. Another thing I noticed is a lot of people just don't feel that their views or that there are candidates that, represent them. And they kind of feel excluded from the process. So they just don't want to bother in either local, state, or federal elections.
They feel disengaged from the political system? Yeah. It's just sort of as a follow-up, because I've heard this now from a few folks about this issue of, everybody's got to work, they've got a lot of commitments, and it takes time, to vote. When we interviewed the Long Beach City clerk about this issue, she kept saying, well, we make it easy because people can vote by mail. But it was interesting, one of the comments that I saw in the survey was, that's true, except you still have to do the research to decide, not so much on candidates, but like on some of the issues, like measures or voting for bonds and stuff like that. Did you hear some of that just people felt like they just didn't know enough about or could make an informed decision? Did you hear that at all?
Yeah, I heard that too. Specifically with just some of the, like you said, the bonds and propositions and things like that. Or a lot of it is
obscure things.
I'm sorry?
The more obscure things. Yeah. What did you personally learn from the project, and what impact do you think that's had on you in terms of the way you look at the whole voting process?
I think the biggest thing is just that, just like the pool of people in Long Beach is so diverse, and just like political beliefs and opinions and all that. And I really think that, and I mean, it's, even though the survey focused on the local election, it really just got me thinking about, the bigger macro picture with the federal election and all that. Mm-hmm. And it feels like that the options out there and a lot of the candidates and a lot of the just the common narratives, political narratives that are thrown about by those who are running, it seems very limited. And like I said earlier, there's a huge diverse opinion, and a lot of people aren't getting their voices heard, and a lot of people aren't, really, it's kind of demotivating when you have the same two parties running, and I don't know. And I think that kind of trickles down. It's like, if it's like, why bother in the federal election, and why bother at the state election, and why bother at the local election? Because you don't really see that. There's all these different parties, and they're just kind of muted by the Democrats and Republicans and whatever they kind of want to get through.
Well, I appreciate Ryan taking time to speak with us on Radio Palacio.
Great. Thank you very much, Antonio.
Thank you, Ryan. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.